Hello, you gorgeous human being, it's Miss Bubbles. Welcome to episode 2 of Squishing the Backlog, a new series that was started on the channel where I share with you games that I've completed as well as games that I'm enjoying here and there. But the beauty of this entire series is the fact that I want to know what you are playing, what you completed, so please let me know down in the comment section. I look forward to chatting with you. Without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so let's start with the first game here, and it's none other than Far Cry 6. This one to me is a must-play game if you love the Far Cry franchise along with its more modernized take with the new added RPG elements. If you don't know, this is a first-person shooter series where each entry brings you a somewhat new story, actually a completely new story. So you don't need to play the previous ones to understand what is happening. But in 6, with the season pass, they did change things up a little bit and brought us the villains from older games, but I did not play that one. I feel like the entire setting of 6 was very relatable to me. If you don't know, I'm from Lebanon and my country has been going through a revolution since October of 2019. So this game hit home. I was able to really relate to everything that's going on with the assassinations and the corruption and the horrible economic situation. So I just really got attached to the game, and I love Danny, the main character. I went with the female version. She is again very relatable. She has some funny jokes here and there, but in the end she shows a strong character that strives to make a change and find balance between loyalty and friends and family, but also loyalty towards herself. I quickly got attached to her, and I was just playing this game because I wanted to get her out of the situation that she's in, and somehow I just felt like maybe I'm trying to get myself out of this situation. And that's why I always say games really help you, because you just come to terms and do things that sometimes you don't really understand, but in the end they kind of relate to your real life story. But apart from the story, Far Cry 6 takes place on a beautiful Caribbean island called Yara. It's truly gorgeous. From being able to go to the coast and seeing the beautiful beaches to going up a little bit more and seeing those foresty areas, as well as seeing different, let's say, monuments that have their own lore behind them. It was fun to explore and discover the environment present here. Additionally, the side objectives, which a lot of people complain about with Ubisoft, actually encouraged me to want to go on an adventure looking for checkpoints to take over, destroying everything that had Castillo's picture on it. He's the horrible president in there. I just freaking hate him. So it was very fun to slowly work my way through the different territories, bring down their leaders as the resistance and difficulty of other territories increased. The gameplay is a guilty pleasure of mine. Honestly, I'm not even guilty about it. I love it. Yes, of course, I am against the scummy practices like making XP points slow to gather if you don't pay extra money, like, you know, what they did with Odyssey. That was just horrible. However, I'm not against the open world RPG route that Ubisoft is taking with the modern games. I enjoyed the Yarn stories. These are like side quests that you find which help you get new pet companions or learn about different characters' motivations, and you feel a better connection with the world around you. Moving on to the gameplay itself, the shooter aspect was phenomenal in my humble opinion. I love that we have a wide range of weapons, from serious ones to just hilarious ones. You can literally use a weapon that shoots discs at enemies and plays the Macarena song. That's weird but very funny. You can also use Supremo backpacks, which have different abilities. Like, some of them will set a massive fire around you, some of them will just throw missiles at choppers to help you take them down. And I also like the RPG mechanics that were tailored towards the clothes that you get. So each clothing item that you get has a set of abilities attached to it. For example, your shoes can help you move around more stealthily, but your shirt can increase your movement speed when crouching. There are plenty of clothing items for you to find, so it can help you build the character that you want Danny to be, and that was very entertaining to me. And as I mentioned, you do get pet companions this time around to help you out, and my favorite has to be Chicharron. This one is an insane rooster. He hates all of Castillo's army forces and will rage if he ever saw one, so having him around was a sure way to cause havoc. But it was hilarious how he would just flip the moment he sees anybody that he doesn't like. But let's get a little bit into the spoiler spoiler territory because I want to talk about the ending here. So skip ahead if you don't want to know what happened. 3, 2, 1, we're gonna get into it. So apparently you have two endings, one that you can get very early on in the story, but I really wasn't interested in it. And then you have the second one, which once you reach Castillo, you will see him kill himself. Like, he'd rather kill himself than let you kill him. And I was fine with that. I was like, whatever, you deserve to die. I freaking hate you. But what I was really mad at is that he killed his own son, Diego. I'm like, why? Why would you do that? But then, you know, I started to think about it and it kind of makes sense. Like, maybe it was for the better that Diego died, because he could have taken his father's footsteps and just been a even more horrible president, but he might have also been the change that Yara requires. So again, if I try to relate everything to my situation, my country, every time you get rid of a regime, you need another one to replace it. And for me, it just felt like Yara never got an alternative regime, which makes me feel like Yara is just suffering now. So it kind of was a sad ending, but I can't lie, this game is really good. If you love first-person shooters, I highly recommend that you check it out. I love how gentle my family is with the doors when I'm filming. They'll just slam it. The second game that I finished is called You Squishing That Like Button. If you're enjoying this video so far, and if you're new here, welcome on board. If you love everything RPG, JRPG, crazy shenanigans, there you go, shenanigans like this, cozy and lifesome games, then you have found the best, bubbliest community and the craziest person to be around. On a serious note, moving on to the next game, I feel like I was like Salt Bae about this game because I was just so salty about it, but it's Cyberpunk 2077. I feel like my saltiness just came from the fact that this was made by the same devs that made my favorite game of all time, Witcher 3. So to see them make this disastrous game at the start just pissed me off. Fast forward though, I decided to finally sit my butt down, stop being salty and try it out, and gotta admit, I had a really good time. So this is another first-person shooter slash RPG game set in a cyberpunk night city. You play as V, a male or female character that you get to customize, and you can also like customize the private areas, which I still don't understand why they had to add that in. Okay. Anyways, you also get to choose one of 3 different factions to belong to: the Nomad, Street Kid, or Corpo. I went with the Street Kid. The difference is that each one has a different beginning chapter, as well as additional dialogue options that you can use when you're playing the story for your own advantage. Now listen, I'm not saying that my gameplay was all sunshine and rainbows, but before we get to the bad side of the game, let's talk about the good side. First off, I usually really love maps and menus in games. Now, if we're talking about the map, I really liked it, even though it was a little bit difficult to navigate my way to some destinations, but the menu in general was a little bit cluttered and a little bit outdated. Another thing that I liked is the phone system, where you can receive messages and choose how you want to reply to people. I really like the added immersion aspect in here. I also love that as my street cred increased and I did max it out, I got a lot of different cars and apartments that I can buy, but I also got new side jobs to complete. And this is where I need to talk to you about the importance of side jobs. To me, if you don't do these side jobs, you're not gonna enjoy this game. Yes, you can go ahead and play the main quest and get it over with, but honestly, you are missing out, because the true main dish of this game is all about those side jobs. In short, these side jobs will let you meet new romanceable people. It's gonna let you get more connected to Silverhand, which is Keanu Reeves. It's gonna help you get connected to other people that you meet throughout the main story and build a deeper connection with them. And they're just much more enjoyable. And when you come up to wrap the game and just finish everything that you've been trying to do, you just know what you want to do and you have a better understanding of what's going on around you. And if you're interested in knowing what some of these side jobs look like, you have some fixers that will give you different quests. For example, Regina Jones will ask you to neutralize cyber psychos, but she prefers you not kill them because she wants to know what happened for them to go crazy. You have Wakako, I believe is her name, which will send you on rescue missions, and there's a story behind every person that you're trying to rescue, so you kind of get attached to the person. You want to do anything you can to help them out. You also get different street races to go on, and again, as I said, some of the main characters have a lot of background story that you get to learn about within these side jobs. But also similar but not really similar to Far Cry 6, not only do you have your clothing items that will add more benefits to you, like maybe you can resist fire damage or have a better chance at achieving critical hits, you also get this massive skill tree, which I did not like because it was very overwhelming. But before you get into that, you have things like body and intelligence and tech that you can allocate points into and kind of build how V is the perfect version that you want her or him to be. And I focused a lot on body because it helped me force open a lot of doors and access them, and I really like that my HP was just climbing up very quickly, so I usually go with the tank build, so body is the way to go. And I feel like this is the point where it's a little bit safe to start moving on to the things that I didn't like about the game. You're gonna find yourself spending a lot of time in the inventory, and that thing is just cluttered. I feel like they didn't learn anything from Witcher 3. They still have everything cluttered and it makes no sense why it's still that way. And driving cars and the handling of like both cars and motorcycles was Mission Impossible. I felt like I was Tom Cruise in a Mission Impossible movie, yet everything was impossible. Like, things are possible to him. To me in this game, driving was impossible. And I also don't like that my PlayStation, for reference, I was playing on PlayStation 5, crashed 3 times within my 35 hours of playing this game. It really scared me because I had to hard reset my PlayStation to make it work, which is just unacceptable at this point. And not to forget the crazy bugs that are immersion breaking, and I really hated them. For example, you'll be in this very serious life or death moment and you'll just see a car pop out of nowhere and just fly through the characters, or like a character will be in the middle of a car, like the car is here and they're right in the middle. Like, it doesn't make sense. And let's end things on a positive note though. I want to talk about the ending that I got. So in 3, 2, 1, we're gonna talk about spoilers, so please move ahead. I got the ending. I did not research the endings yet, but V went to cyberspace, so she's there forever. However, I decided that Keanu Reeves or Silverhand would take in her body and just move on. I went with this decision because when I was doing the side jobs, and that's why I say it's very important to do those side jobs, I made sure to go out of my way to amend everything that Silverhand did wrong in his past, even fixing things that he did wrong with Rogue or Alt. I just wanted him to come to peace with everything and become a better and more passionate human being. So I felt like this was the excellent choice to go with, and he did not disappoint. When the ending struck, I just met this Steve guy. I'm not sure if he was part of any side jobs that I skipped, but Silverhand went to buy a guitar and I thought it was gonna be for him, like he's gonna start his new band. On the contrary, he gave the guitar to this kid who I feel like his dad is very abusive towards him. So I was like, we did the right choice here. Like, I'm so happy that Silverhand really did change, so I'm very satisfied with the ending that I got. So overall, I had a really good experience with the game despite the shortcomings that I talked about. It was very fun. The stories are very well written. However, I'm still very upset with how CD Projekt Red approached this and all the lies that they said, and I really hope they don't F up the new Witcher game because I'm gonna be super unhappy. Moving on to the next 2 games. These are ones that I actually received review codes for, but I really wanted to talk about them. The first one is called V Rising. If you don't know, this is a new vampire survival game that has taken the internet by storm. Now, when you start your game, you can choose from different servers. You can go PvE, PvP, you can make your own private server. I went with PvE with an already established one because I don't want to play this game for over 100 hours, but at the moment I'm playing it and I'm having a really good time. So you start by customizing your vampire. You can choose your name, your hairstyle, its color, eye color, face shape, just a few options like that. And the main goal is to craft and build your castle, but things are not that simple because you need to maintain it. And this ties into the survival mechanics here. Not only do you need to make sure that you're fed to stay alive and to have good quality blood, you also need to watch the clock and make sure you're not exposed to sunlight because that will kill you, and I died a lot of times because of that, and that was not fun. But you also need to make sure that your castle is not decaying because it always needs blood essence that you can get from live creatures that you kill. But I really don't like that aspect because if I don't play the game, the decay timer is still going on, and I mean, I don't have time to play this game 24/7, so I'm not sure if there's maybe a later object that will fix this problem, but so far I haven't discovered it, and I don't like that my castle is decaying as we speak right now. Like, no. Now I'm still very early in the game, I'm still in the tutorial area, and I came into this massive forest, and it has a lot of, you know, different circles that you can go to and discover new things. It's very mysterious and just keeps you on your toes. You never know what's gonna happen. Sometimes you're just, you know, minding your own business and this bear will pop out of nowhere and scare the hell out of you, or a venomous plant will try to murder you and that will give you a mini heart attack. But you know, I usually love cozy games, but for some reason, I just feel like this game keeps calling me and Miss Bubbles just wants to go and play it. So they must be doing something right? And of course, you know, the more you progress, the more things you're gonna unlock, so you can expand on your castle and make it better. For example, not only are you working on your castle, you're also working on yourself, so you can get better gear. So at first you'll have like a bone sword, but then you can upgrade it into a copper one, which deals more damage. You can do the same to your clothes and some of the rings that you wear, and you can even build a blood altar, so you can track down the blood of big beasts, which are the bosses that you encounter in the game, and then get unique and very rare resources from them, and that is really fun. So this has been a really enjoyable experience. However, keep in mind, if you do die, you're gonna have your stuff just left wherever you were, so you need to go back and track it, and I don't like that. So yeah, if you're into survival games like this, then I definitely encourage that you try it out. It's really fun. I can see myself sinking so many hours into it, and that's why I wanted to include it in this video because I just love this game so much and I can't wait to play more. And on to the next game. This is one that falls into a genre that you know I don't like, which is platformers, but I wanted to give it a shot. The devs contacted me and they said that Kao the Kangaroo is more of a cozy-ish platforming game that they thought I would like. Now, it's not really cozy and it's not what I expected it to be, but I know it has a really wide audience and people on my channel really love platformers, so I thought we should talk about it. So this is a new entry after the success of the Kao franchise during the Dreamcast days and the, I think, Game Boy Advance days, so it's beloved by many. You start by learning that your sister and father went missing with voice-acted cutscenes, which in my opinion were not the best. I just didn't get attached to any of the characters whatsoever. And here you're on this journey just trying to be a hero, wanting to find your sibling and your dad. Kao offers a colorful 3D platformer where you need to jump and fight your way to progress, and you have a set destination to reach out, but you can also find different routes to get to hidden chests or other things to collect. So if you love collecting things, you're gonna have a really good time with this one. You also have some combat elements where you take down enemies and you have different abilities to use, and once you finish a mission you can go back to the open world area and use the coins that you found to, for example, increase your hearts, which is like your health in this game. Now, as I said, I'm not gonna lie, this game is definitely not for me because it was just getting getting increasingly difficult every single moment, and even the first boss fight was very difficult, so I did not have a good time with it. But I know that if you love platformers, you're gonna love this game. I also heard that the game at first had some glitches, especially with save files, because this game goes by manual save files, and something happened and these were corrupted, so you had to restart from the beginning. But I think the devs have fixed that by now, so just make sure that you research that before you decide to buy this game. So as I said, if you love platformers, you're gonna love this one. It's definitely a must-buy for you. However, if you're like me and you get frustrated by this very easily, it's definitely a skip. Don't forget to share with us down in the comment section which games you are playing. I love chatting with you, and also check out episode 1 if you're interested in seeing my journey as I start completing some games off the backlog. Thank you to my bubbly patrons for the support and making videos like this happen. Thank you for watching, and a special shout out to Justin and Faye. As always, stay bubbly, stay positive, and I'll see your gorgeous, beautiful, wonderful, amazing self in the next one. Bye!